At T-Mobile, our critical mission is providing unparalleled 5G coverage for when connectivity is mission critical. Introducing T-Priority, America's best 5G network experience for first responders, even in times of congestion. More capacity, faster speeds, better coverage. T-Priority from T-Mobile, built for tomorrow's emergencies, ready today. Discover more at t-priority.com.
For qualifying organizations on eligible rate plans, coverage not available in some areas and may be impacted by emergencies.
1, 2, 3, 4. The Brutally Delicious Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast.
Man, either, other than like a couple minutes.
Really?
Walking by the.
I saw Udo, Sepultura, Candlemass, over.
I haven't seen Udo. I'm going to try and catch him tonight.
Yeah, that's another one I made, because I heard he's doing a lot of accept stuff.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So anyway, thank you for taking the time. First off, huge fan. I was telling Kyle this morning when I saw him getting coffee. I remember in high school walking to the record store, like in the snow or whatever, to pick up the Skull on vinyl, and like wearing the son of a bitch out. It was crazy.
He told us that
He did
about
tell us
this
that.
conversation with you.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of my growing up, and that was the album we listened to, so it was amazing to listen to it straightforward. And as I was telling him, he does an amazing job, and I think he does really justice to Eric's stuff,
certainly.
for sure.
Yep.
Like, I closed my eyes at a couple points, and was like, wow, this is... I'm back in high school, because music has a way of taking you, like, right back to this weird point, right?
Yeah.
The smells, the memory, everything. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I was like back in high school, little pimply-faced kid listening to the Skull, and it was like crazy. Anyway, what was it like playing it all the way through like that? Do you guys often do that, or is that...
Never.
First time we've ever done that.
Wow. So is that pretty...
Half of those songs we haven't played since the 80s.
Really?
Few of them we have, but
Right.
but a number we haven't.
Gideon, for sure.
Yeah.
What was it
The
like?
Wish, we haven't played
Fear
The Wish
and
since
Wish,
the
yeah,
80s.
those three.
What was it like revisiting those? Was it... I mean,
Loved
did it take you right back like I just
fuck
said?
yeah!
Kinda did.
At rehearsal, I kept telling Russo, I'm like, man, I'm just like, it takes me back to like the early days, like when
Yeah.
we started playing those songs. It's awesome. I love doing it. I love it. It's just so nostalgic for me.
Yeah, and you know, I'm a fan of all the records, including Manic Frustration or whatever, but that one has just this special place, and I think it was great to see it. And I thought the crowd was pretty good too, right?
It was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm fair to say, a lot of people probably are not familiar with that record, right?
We had 3 people. I've told this 3 times today now. Rob and I and Gary, our drummer, were sitting at the bar by the casino, and we had 3 different people come up to us and say, I saw your set tonight, it was unbelievable. I've never even heard Trouble till I saw you on this cruise. And like, you guys were like one of my favorite bands I've seen, you know, so.
And I'm going to tell you, I have one of the guys who works on the podcast with me. He's here, and I told him, I said, do me a favor, go to see this one. I don't care if you missed the first one, but go to see the Skull one. And he texted me this morning. He was like, that was absolutely insane. So yeah, I agree.
Cool.
How much did you have to rehearse those? Did you guys really have to stretch?
We put a little time
Yeah, we
into it,
did.
yeah. Well, we had to rehearse 2 sets, like basically 3
Right.
sets, because we played a Chicago show, which consisted of different songs. We played 2 different sets on the boat, so we basically rehearsed a lot of songs over the last 8 weeks. Yeah.
Do you guys feel a sort of responsibility to the rock metal world, being like the pioneers of that sort of Chicago doom?
I don't know if I'd call it a responsibility to them, or more so to us in our legacy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we have to make sure we're doing things right for us. You know, as far as a responsibility to the metal community, I mean, that's up to them.
Right.
You know, it's not our decision.
What are your plans to take? Are you taking this on the road, or are you guys just doing one-offs now?
Oh, you mean like the Skull?
Oh yeah, the Skull.
This was a one-off.
This was
Right.
a one-off, yeah.
It,
We have
it
plans.
it may happen again.
We have plans. That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say.
But yeah, there was
It may be even cooler than this.
but there was no grand plan to like, yeah, we're gonna do this the whole year. We're gonna play the Skull.
No.
Like,
No.
Right.
Well, we're in the middle of recording a record right
Oh, you guys are
now.
recording
So we
something
pulled
now?
out of the studio to do this. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Is that a 2025? or looking
We're
forward?
hoping it's going to be 2025. When we get back, we need to go reevaluate where we are because we've been out now for like a couple months. So time to go back in and see what we did, where we are, and then we'll make that determination.
So when you're writing, then how do you go about the process without rewriting some of your previous records, right? Because you've got a few records out, and you got to stay true to your fans, but you don't want to rewrite the same song, right?
Like that. I don't think we have to stay true to anyone. We
Really?
Write what you write. Why do you think Trouble sounds so different from this album to this album? Because we're not like going, well, the fans might not like that.
Right.
I mean, we're musicians. We write what we write. If we like it, we're putting it out. That's just the way it is. I mean, and I don't mean to sound harsh about it.
No. I was just curious because I know some people do that, and then some people purposely say, I can't rewrite that last record. I need to do something.
Right. Well, it's got to sound fresh to us.
Right. And it still has to sound like Trouble.
Well, it will sound like Trouble.
Right.
And I think when we write songs, we're just I don't think we're thinking like, okay, I'm writing songs for this album.
Right.
Like we just write songs, and some of them like we might not even show the rest of the band. That's not good. But some we might show the rest of the band, and it ends up being what it is. It isn't like a plan like, okay, we are writing this album now, so we need one of these and one of these and one of these. We don't do that.
No.
Do you write with a topic in mind, like the skull, or do you kind of piece it together as you go?
No, so in the old days, I mean, Eric was 100% like in control of the lyrics, which would determine something like that. And that's kind of the way we've continued to work. So now it's Kyle writing. Like I wrote one lyric on the last record, I got one on this record, but the rest is all Kyle,
Well, Kyle asked me the other day, he said, do you guys have a title for the record yet? And I went, well, we don't know what you're singing about yet. So I don't know, not a clue. So
nice. And it's good you guys have that much faith in him to keep that moving along. Well,
he's a hard worker, and he gets it. He gets it. I have a lot of trust in what he's doing with us. We've had a lot of conversations over the years, and he knows what we're doing. He gets it. He's a pro.
Well, he was like you. I'm sure you guys had this discussion. He was like you. He was a teenage kid listening to Trouble too.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I mean those first two albums were unbelievable to me. Like Misery Shows is just
keep
crazy.
That in mind. Those first two albums. Keep that in mind.
So, I don't know if this applies or not, but early on you guys were sort of labeled Christian or religious or whatever. Is that still a theme, or was that never really supposed to be a theme and just came that way?
It was never a thing. That was Brian Slagle
really?
marketing us because he had Slayer and Trouble. He said, go to hell with Slayer, go to heaven with Trouble. And we were like, thanks, fucking Brian. Like he just labeled us.
Right.
I know the themes of the songs were, but that doesn't mean we were promoting Christianity.
Right.
Those were what Eric was singing about, what he was going through.
And like listening last night, I had that question in my head, and I'm thinking,
I do
they're
too,
really
at times.
just positive songs, right? They're not about redemption or fighting whatever. They're not really. You mentioned Jesus or something, but they're not really religious.
But that's what they're meant to do. You take them for what they are to you.
Right.
That's all it is.
Well, and I would say that all the bands I listen to, it's the same thing. Like a lot of bands have lyrics where you're not 100% sure what they're talking about, and it means like what it means to you.
Right. Right. And I've had talks with Eric about this a bunch of times, and like that's exactly what he's saying. It's going to mean something to everybody different. This means this to me. So I knew what it meant to Eric.
Right.
But that's the whole key about music. It's like it's going to mean every song is going to mean something different to everybody.
Right. Yeah, I just remember that whole
personal. They're
weird
all very
Christian label on it. And
songs are very personal to people.
Yes.
Yeah, Brian labeled it white metal,
right.
And then other people took it like, oh, they're a Christian band. And like, we never said that, right?
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, but I remember that whole thing, and I had no thought either way.
Christians in the band. That's a whole different ballgame.
Right.
But that doesn't make a Christian band.
Right. Okay. Judy just interrupted.
And sinners.
Right, and sinners, right.
It's the yin and the yang of Trouble.
I was on a roll here. It just made me lose my train of thought. So.
Sorry.
No, not you. The door.
Pepsid Complete knows that food is one of the best parts of game day. That is, until heartburn strikes. Thankfully, Just one chewable tablet of Pepcid Complete provides dual-action heartburn relief with an antacid that starts working instantly and an acid reducer that lasts all day. So you can stay focused on that second helping of chili without worrying about heartburn. All day based on 8-hour symptom relief studies during the day. Use product only as directed.
So, we talked about, are you playing any shows this year at all? Not just the Skull, but any shows at all?
Yeah, we are. Metal Fest? What is it?
Yeah, Milwaukee Metal Fest.
Oh,
we're
nice.
playing in May, and then we're doing some shows with Paradise Lost.
That's a good gig.
Just a few.
Handful, yeah.
So that's in May, but that's maybe going to be it though.
Yeah, it's
And then-
definitely
'cause
going to
we're
be it because we got to get this
work on the record.
done,
Yeah.
So here's one for you. How do you prep or get ready for a tour, getting that we're of a certain age, right? I mean, things are more difficult.
Yeah.
It's tough, right? I mean, I know I'm walking up the stairs all day
easy.
long and I'm tired already, so
It ain't
yeah.
fucking easy, I'll tell you that much.
Well, and we haven't done like a 2 or 3 week tour in about 8-9 years. So.
Right.
We've done shows here and there, but we haven't done like a 3-week tour. And
Exercise, stay healthy. You know, that's all you can do at this age.
How are you going to know when the run is at an end? Sorry, is that a terrible question?
No, I don't know.
When the arthritis gets too bad.
I think about that sometimes. I'm like, how much longer? Like, you know, can you physically do it? I mean, mentally we can do it forever, I'm sure, but physically, you know,
Right.
there's going to be a time.
So as long as the quality's still trouble, then
Well, that's the key. That's what I'm saying about being true to yourself. We're not going to let the band do that. It's
Right.
not going to nosedive. We're going to go out on our terms. So,
and I think that's really important, right? Because there's a lot of bands we all know that are still going out there. And
right.
It's,
Well,
it's nothing like we see.
and
It'll be Trouble featuring Rob Holt.
And you're the judge. You saw us last night, so like.
Well, Kyle will tell you, I grabbed him getting coffee this morning. I was like, holy fuck, that was more than a show. It was an experience for sure.
Cool. Well, as long as we can hold to a level like that, then sure.
Right.
And shit, I'm losing my train of thought here. But yeah, that's. I know what I was going to ask you. When you're writing, or I'm sure you've had people come up to you and say, "Hey, these songs mean." We were talking about what songs mean. Mm-hmm. You probably have stories of people coming up and saying, "Hey, this song touched me," or did whatever. How does that feel?
Good. I mean,
Great.
Because you can't imagine that when you're writing it, right? You're writing, like you said, for you.
I remember when we released The Skull, and I was taking all of the band fan mail at the time, and I remember getting a letter from a lady whose son's life we saved with the Wish, the song The
That's
Wish.
heavy.
It's real heavy, and I
Not the
remember
only
showing
one
it to
either.
Eric, and it was like, yeah, this is some heavy shit. Like, you better be careful what you're saying out there,
Right.
buddy. So apparently, this kid was contemplating suicide, and this song took him like out of his funk and saved his life. And his mother thanked us and thanked us and thanked us. So
And I know 2 more stories.
Yeah.
The same thing, different people.
Yeah.
The same thing with that song.
yeah, that song had a big
There was
impact.
I saw a comment on YouTube. I pulled up the Wish on YouTube to relearn it. and I was reading the comments as it's playing, and I'm playing guitar with it, and I'm reading the comments, and there was a guy that said, "This song kept me from putting a gun in my mouth."
Yeah,
That's heavy.
that is.
So at the end of the day, then, even if trouble is where it's at and it doesn't go any further, that's enough, right?
We've accomplished like more than
Yeah.
most people could dream of accomplishing. We've done more.
And
with
in a
this band.
sort of, this is not disrespectful at all, but in a sort of almost underground way, right? I mean,
It's almost
never
better
been,
that way.
Yeah.
It's almost better that way because the egos aren't as big. You know, you still have your normal life if you want it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm very proud of what this band's accomplished
should
and what
be.
we've done, and we've left a good legacy behind us. You know, we did some good work, so we could walk away with our heads up whenever we're ready. So,
Awesome.
yeah,
Did I miss anything you wanted to cover? That was pretty much it. I hope that wasn't too bad.
Whatever you want.
good times.
I'm good.
The Helping Friendly podcast explores the music and fan experience of Phish through interviews and deep dives on shows and tours. For more than 10 years, we've created insightful and fun discussions about our favorite band, and with the help of our guests and thematic series, we're still discovering new angles of appreciation for Phish. And when the band is on tour, we provide a review of every show the following day. As one of our listeners said, any fish fans that enjoy meandering conversations and incredible insight on new and old fish shows, this is for you. Highly recommend. It's not just about the band and the shows, it's about the journey getting there. Throughout 2024, we're going to be running down the top 25 fish tours of all time, and that'll be interspersed with show reviews and regular episodes. Join us and check out the Helping Friendly podcast wherever you get your podcasts.